All right, friends, today is day 18, I think, of Unedited Launch. Now, today is a topic that whether you're watching this in my launch or not, it's very heartfelt to me. So I'm going to tell you how I came up with this topic, which seems simple, but it's not, because I really have some things I'm going to share today about 7 things you need to learn as a woman. And you want to wait till the very end so that you get the last tip, because every single one is super powerful and it builds on each other. Being a mom of 2 girls and 2 boys, and being a woman and gone through a lot of trauma in the past, I wouldn't say this is going to be that heavy, but I'm going to give you some of my very favorite resources, things I wish I knew when I was younger as a woman. And so today what I would say is, I'm just going to jump into it. I will say, if you are listening to this and there's kids around, I will be talking about a couple sexual things. And so you might want to mute that. And just a heads up, I'll be saying the O word. Okay, so let's get going here. So the number one, these really aren't, it is going to be growing, but every single one stands on its own, and I believe you really need to have these as a woman. I hope some young ladies are going to be able to find this, and honestly any age lady, because I guess I say young lady because maybe it could steer them clear from men who might use them, and maybe they don't even know that, right? So we attract what we feel. So if you feel bad about yourself, you attract more experiences to feel bad about yourself until you heal it. So let's go through this. Self-worth, number 1. Learning that everything you truly need, you already have inside of you, but it's unlocking that. We don't always know that. We think there's something outside of us. I wanted to give a book. It's called You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. You can actually find it on YouTube. It's free. You can listen to a chapter a day, like the audio version, or you can order it. The reason I like that one is it sounds like it's about money. It's not really. It's about self-worth. It's about knowing that even though when you were born naked into this world, you were worth as much then as you are now. And though our bank accounts might differ, though there's men and women all around the world, you are worthwhile. And so I recommend that book. Another one would be maybe The Purpose-Driven Life. But your worth is going to determine how much money you ask for in your career. It's going to determine who you date, who you marry, the people you let in your life. And I'm going to give some other tools that I think will help build your self-worth. And that I think, but that self-worth, I remember I'm going to share personal stories here. I was divorced and I didn't date much before I got married. I'd saved myself for marriage. And I didn't know a lot about men, and I went through this period post-divorce where I was dating people that very clearly, logically, were not good for me. And yet I let them use me. I did things that don't make me proud, but I didn't understand at that point, having come from an abusive past, that I would continue to allow that behavior, and it was up to me to stop it. I am not a victim, I'm a victor, but we can keep putting ourselves in victim situations. So this is going to be the final 7 point, can help you through these things. And the number 2 point out of the 7 is boundaries. And I want to talk about the power of no, and no more people pleasing. The truth is that no means no, and that's not just about sex, it's about everything. And you don't even need to explain yourself. I was in line the other day. This is funny. I knew some stories would come to mind. And I was asking my husband for his military ID at Lululemon. And because he took a call, and I said, hey, wait, I need you in line with me. But there were some people behind me, some women, and I felt really needy saying that. They didn't know I just needed his military ID, which I had one, but he has his account. But I felt the need to explain myself to them, strangers, I don't need him because of that, it's because of a discount. But then I was like, oh, but I still felt the need to tell them that. I'm like, I have more work to do. I'm definitely not perfect at this, but I can catch it now. And I actually have a no list on my phone. I find, and I have it about multiple things. I have it about clients, I have it about employees, I have it about my relationships. And in order for you to make a no list, meaning these are things you don't do anymore, like let's say it's no more discounts, no more saying yes, no more eating foods, even if other people are eating them, if it's not on my meal plan. It's detailed. That's what I mean by a no list. And it's based on no's that are meaningful to me. You might have different no's than me, and that's okay. So that's why I can't really share what my no list is. I'll give you an example. One of the phrases that's helpful to me would be like, no, I'm not available, but thanks for asking. I used to, even clients or friends or strangers, go on and on about why I can't make that meeting. Now I'm just like, no, that doesn't work for me. And that's okay. Because just remember, like, every yes you give to other people is a no to you. And sometimes that yes matches. You want the yeses to match. You want the yes to the client to match the times you're taking client calls. For example, I would take all these sales calls and client calls because I'm a business owner, because I felt this need, like, oh, I won't make enough money. But then I would not go to the gym and then not have time to cook the healthy food I wanted to cook. So it's all about boundaries. So I think you also need to be very clear about the life you want, the schedule you want, because you can't really say no if you don't know what your yeses are. So you need to figure out what your yeses are to you. And then if there's yeses that match with others, like, yeah, you want to go on a date night with your husband or your boyfriend or whoever this Friday, then that yes matches. But if they say, hey, I want to hang out at 1 today, and let's say they got off work early, you're like, I'm sorry, that's my time I have client calls, or that's my time I go to the gym. It's literally having enough self-worth that you honor your yeses first. So I would really recommend that. Okay, the power of 0-100. So I actually have a tattoo. I've talked about this a lot in life, and I even made a sticker about it. This is what the zero means. 0 excuses, 0 explaining, 0 complaining. Here's a new one, and this one's hard. 0 expectations of others. 0. And then 100 means 100%. 100% no matter what. And again, this doesn't mean working all the time, because I've posted about this and blogged about this, and people are like, oh, well, how can you give 100 all the time? I'm like, because if I'm in the bath, I'm in the bath. Why do I have to work if I'm in the bath? Sometimes I will. Sometimes I'm like, that's social media marketing in the bath. But sometimes like, no, I'm checked out. It's 100% of whatever thing you're doing, whether that's scrubbing the toilet, washing the dishes, picking up trash, not stuffing something in a drawer when you could have folded it. It's like, it's saying, I'm going to be a person of excellence. And there's a great book, The Power of I Am by Joel Osteen. I like it on Audible because you can listen to it while you're doing things. And I like the way he talks. And he talks about, being excellent at everything you do, and that what you say about yourself matters. And this all, again, goes down to self-worth, right? But these are things that help you develop that. I think, like, I'm trying to give action steps, tools, resources that you could develop this within yourself. So being excellent, and I do think that how you do one thing is how you do everything. I heard that years ago at this network marketing event that I'd gone to, and I was like, oh my goodness, I like rolled my eyes. Oh, but then like I've been convicted through the years. Again, it doesn't mean you're good at everything. Nobody is. But can you give your all to everything you do all the time? And there's a Bible verse and it says, work like you're working for God, not for man. And essentially to me, this whole life journey is between me and God. That's it. And others can choose to join me at different seasons, whether it's clients, a partner, my children. And obviously I have stewardship over my children. That's a bit different. But even them, like, there are certain things, it's their choice. They have their own journey to go down. But as for me in my house, but really just as for me, that's who I want to be. And you get to decide, is that who you want to be? Again, this isn't 7 things you have to be. I think it's, the title is 7 things you need to learn as a woman. And I do think so, but you don't have to choose any of this. That's the power of free will. These are things, so if you are desiring to be a woman of excellence, and if you are following my channel and you want to be a business owner who makes 6 figures, 7 figures and above, it requires a level of discipline, especially if you don't want to trade money for losing the family, losing the partner, losing your hopes, your dreams, your body. If you want a well-balanced life that is beautiful, and by balance, I don't mean it all like is so smooth all the time or so perfect, but it's like you are planting acres and seeds in your life. All right, now the next two. Are you guys ready to get a little, let's talk about some real stuff. One is your private parts, this is number 4 on the list, do not make you any less or more important or less than a man in any way. When I was growing up, and I grew up in a very religious household that taught that men were above women and that, men handled certain things. And look, every home you can have your roles, but if a woman came into this world as a woman, not attached to a man, we are equal. That's that. Every skin color is equal, and men and women are equal, and so is any age that you're at. All of it, we are equal. Is life fair? Do we get treated differently? Sure, but what I'm talking about is what you can control, which is how you see yourself. We can be good at finances, technology, careers, travel, military, athletics. We live in a day and age where women are finally breaking through all these paradigms. I'm posting this right around the Summer Olympics of 2024. You see these women dominating this year in Olympics around the world. People shooting guns, people with gymnastics, Simone Biles, right? Winning through more than anybody. And we can compete. And so it's not just about pay, it's all of it. That just decide I can have whatever I want. I'm a woman. I am a woman. And if, side note, you want to check out my song, it's called I Am Woman. It's sometimes on Spotify. I actually am writing a musical around women. And I believe that our voices deserve to be heard, and there's amazing women throughout history, whether we learned about them, whether they were famous or beautiful. It's not about that. It's about the power inside of you, that you were here and you were born for such a time as this, and that there's a reason you're here, and you need to walk in your full power. Now, you don't need to. You can choose to. Once again, these are all choices. But I want to empower somebody listening that maybe doesn't believe that. And it's little things too. It's I'm on calls with women and they'll be like, oh, I'll have my husband look at that because it's something tech. Why can't you learn that? And even honestly, today I was asking for help around a wrench. I don't have a wrench and, a grip strength. But it's even if you don't have a partner to do it, one, you can hire out if you don't have the tools. You can make money, and really money is a big key part of this freedom, and that's where we're gonna get there about money. All right, so don't limit yourself based on old paradigms, whether it was a father, a mother, yourself, a spouse. It doesn't matter. Choose if you just want to have a free life, and you really can. A part of that, though, is surrounding yourself with other men and women who also believe that. And if you don't have those people in your circle, find those people. Make an intention. Pray about it. Journal you can. And in the meantime, you don't have to put up with it. Don't have friends for a season if those people believe that you're less than or that you can't accomplish your dreams. You got to get the weeds out. You got to bloom. All right, number 5. Women, you deserve to have orgasms just as much as men. Hey, maybe more. In fact, women can have more orgasms during sex than men usually if they know what they're doing, the women or the man. Toys are great, by the way. But being serious, I'll give you a little background on that. Maybe you're watching this, you're like, duh. Well, honestly, when I got married, I didn't really even know what an orgasm was. And maybe you have had a different sexual experience. We all have these experiences that are different. But having followed, and there's a lady, I'm going to give you her name and I'm going to spell it out. She's done a lot of stats and studies and research. Her name is Sheila Grigori. It's spelled SHEILA GREGOIRE. Follow her on Instagram. Highly recommend her. Another one is flyingfree.net. And to give you insights into why I'm talking about this is being raised in a very patriarchal Christian environment growing up. And I am still Christian, but I believe in freedom now, and I believe in lots of orgasms and in passion and in what God has made our bodies capable of doing in the wedding bed, which is where I believe that is. Not that that's always been my history, but that's the belief, and it is what I believe that we should strive for. So that's between you and yourself, or you and God, whatever your faith is. But from just even a psychological, physiological, sexual standpoint over here. Our bodies are capable of multiple orgasms, and yet most studies, it's proven that like women don't orgasm as much. And this is because one is we need to self-worth when it comes to partnership, that we get to also come. And I really believe that like if your partner says they love you and they're not interested in pleasuring you in the marital bed, but you're pleasuring them up the wazoo, well, why? You know, it's this equality piece from the last piece that like your private parts don't make you any less like special, powerful, and I want to talk specifically about sex with that. And I'm not going to go super in depth. You can research these things. So again, Sheila Grigore, and she has a book called The Great Sex Rescue. And I think for any of you women who have struggled, and I know this will, you know, if you're feeling a little fire in your soul or like whatever reason, why? Ask yourself why. Why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't your husband take care of you the way you've taken care of him? And likewise, like, of course, this is saying like, this is assuming you are taking care of him. Here's the simplicity of it. When people have sex, both people get to come if that's the agreement, right? And if somebody's not taking care of you, I think you need to take a look at that relationship or that part of your relationship. And the great news is if somebody really loves each other, they can work through things. This is a learned thing and you can go get help. I'm not a sex coach here, but I'm here to say like that's important. And I do wish somebody had told me that, had talked to me about that. And I think it's, for whatever reason, when I was going through this, I felt like that was a really important thing to talk about. So I hope that maybe somebody hearing this will hear it and, you know, it matters. All these parts of your life matter. All right, keep going. We've got 2 more. Are you ready? Okay, the final 2. These are very powerful. These will help you. Number 6, make your own money. Okay? Look, save your own money. Whether you're in business for yourself or you have a career, I believe every woman should have her own separate bank account. Also, I'll add to this, all your files, like taxes. I didn't have access to taxes, so let's talk about this. Again, I'm speaking from my experience and I'm trusting, like when I share anything online, I understand it's like public, so I don't like to go too deep into it. I'm not trying to call anybody out from my past, but I didn't ever have access to my tax returns from a 10-year marriage. And even now to this day, 7 years later, it's affected me. And I'm just now coming out of several different belief systems around this. And I was told I wasn't good with money. And interestingly, I made really good money even on the side, but I just didn't believe that. So why I started this whole thing with self-worth is figuring out how to hear the truth. And point number 7 in a minute is going to help you, I think, the most with all this. So I think you should have all your files saved in your own fire safety box that nobody else has a key to except you. I'm sorry, friends, but like life can change on an edge. A partner can walk out, they could cheat on you, they could steal your identity. There's just too much. I believe that like I'll give my social to my partner if we're filing for something, but like I keep my files now for me and my kids. I have a copy of everything and nobody else has that. There are certain things that it's like a part of your heart too, like here in this physical world that we're living, you need to protect yourself. And even if you don't have a partner, you should have all that organized because it's going to empower you. When you know that you can go get money out, when you know that you can go make your own money, you don't need to rely on a family member, on a partner, you're free. And for me, I never wanted to be with a partner for money. If that's extra, great. Cherry on top, back to the boundaries. Under the 0-100, number 3, 0 expectations. I don't have an expectation of my spouse providing for me. I provide for myself. And there are, I'm sure, women listening to this who have been raising babies this whole time. I changed my career to be able to stay home with my children, to pick them up from school, to even homeschool for times. And so I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying though is when you are 100% relying on a man, you're 100% relying on a man. Daddy, can I have a cookie? Daddy, it's essentially that relationship. Husband, can I? And you know what? That works for some people. That's your choice. But I'm talking to women who want to be free and maybe have even found themselves trapped and not leaving marriages because of abuse, and abuse is all abuse. If you want to search something, let me tell you something. Search the wheel of abuse. It's very eye-opening if you've never seen it. And there's all kinds of abuse. There's financial abuse, there's economic abuse, which is under financial, there's emotional abuse, there is physical abuse, there is sexual abuse. Unfortunately, I've had all those. And what I've learned through that is I do want to let my experiences help others, because I know others go through this. You know, I've been in these groups with some of these other things. I don't get in them now. The flyingfree.net lady from the You Deserve to Have Orgasms thing, she actually isn't talking much about sex. The reason I gave that link is just to help you free yourself, because I think when you are free, you're free in all ways. But it takes some time sometimes to get free. You might have a really good body, but you might still be putting up with stuff from relationships. So my goal is to be free, to be abundant in all areas. And that's what this list is made from. And again, if you don't agree with me, that's okay. And these might not be your choices. But if you don't want to rely on a company, on a man for your freedom, and if you ever wanted to buy a house or buy a car and you didn't want to ask anybody's permission, you need this. I believe you need to have an emergency fund that's yours, a spending fund, a fun fund. Like, go live your life. You get one life. Actually, what inspired me to really work harder in my business was having children. And I didn't get the support to even go. I shared this story a lot more in my business trainings, down the street to the zoo, which was only $6 a pass, and just to get them food and a popsicle while there. And I worked in my business to free myself, and it did take time, but it is so worth it. And I'm standing in my own office in my name with my Jeep outside in my name, okay? And I'm working on buying my first house in my name. And I'm 42 now, and it's taken longer than I expected, but I'm still here and I'm not giving up. And whatever age or stage you're at, it's never too late. There's all kinds of stories. Actually, I was just watching an interview this week. If you know who Leanne Morgan is, she's a really cute, very funny comedian. She's in her 50s now, and she didn't get her break till her 50s, and she was doing the comedy for 25 years. That's the same with me. I've been making money myself since I was 16, and just the last couple years have I hit multiple six figures, and I'm working on my first annual 7-figure year. I've grown 7 figures the last few years, and I've helped my clients hit 7-8 figures. Your journey is unique to you. So whether you're just starting now, or you have a hobby business, or you are creative, or you have a dream on your heart, I do want to encourage you. And the good news is you're in the right place. I mostly train on helping people make money. And it's not necessarily ideally, I make money online because when I was learning to do this, I used to be I am a professional musician. I could not tour anymore. That's how you make money as a musician, is touring. And I had these 2 young kids and no support. So I figured out how to make money online, and that's how I started my business. You can check it out at tianasmithcoaching.com. If you're here on YouTube, then you can check it there if you're watching this video somewhere else. But Tiana Smith Coaching, find me on YouTube, find me online. I train on this and I give away a lot of free advice. Why? Because when I was broke with the little kids, I was scouring the internet. And thankfully I did invest. I got student loans. I got my master's degree as well. I started my business and it's taken off. But it didn't just take off. I worked on it when the kids were napping or asleep or beside me, and putting movies on and playing games with them, and then taking breaks and going to the park. So when I say you can do it, you can do it. I had left my ex-husband, had sole custody for a while of my children. Now we have split, and have been primary care. I no longer have support or alimony as well. I lost that several years ago. And guess what happened after I lost that? I doubled my income. The next year, I tripled it. Sometimes those things are enabling us. But when you decide to be free, and with God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. So I'm here to help you be free. I hope that would be my goal for you, and what that looks like for you. Number 7. Get a coach and really a therapist to start and keep healing and growing. Let's be clear, a life coach and a counselor, and especially a Christian counselor, is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a therapist, a psychotherapist, somebody who has actual tools to give you. And the other issue with the Christian counselors is that most are patriarchal. They still believe that men are above women, that the man is the head of the home. And though you might have roles like that and you might believe certain things, I challenge you to just try to go see a therapist, because when it comes to equality, again, money, income, sex, all those things, I believe in equality. You might not, I do. And a therapist, a secular therapist, not that they may not believe in Jesus. I've been to some that do, I've been to some that don't. They all help me. They will help you have tools. So what can you do if you don't? One, I like the website BetterHelp, the app. The reason I really like that app is it's like a $200 fee if you want. You can pay by the session. Let's say you had $200 though, and you get like 4 sessions, maybe it's 3 a month, but you can get text support. And I think that's really handy with therapy when you're trying to grow, to have somebody who you can text in an app. I think that's an amazing add-on. There is help sometimes. Maybe you could barter with someone with all these Facebook groups. Maybe there's a service, a skill that you could offer them for bartering if you don't have the money. But please get a therapist, get help. And if you don't like the first one, after a session or two, get a different one. When I first started therapy, I worked with this one guy, but I did have a great breakthrough. I will tell you, I didn't really like his vibe, but he helped me so much, because at that time, I was still married and I had sent all my money to an employee, a man. This is all about giving your power away. Like if let's say you were abused by a man and he took your money, even like a parent as a child, you will continue to repeat that pattern in interesting ways until you are aware of it and you choose to break it. So I got myself in this situation where an employee asked me for the money like he was better than me at running it, even though he had just been in my business. I made like $60,000 in a few months. It was the most I'd made in a few months at that point. And he took it all, and I was like, hey, where's the money? You're gonna send it? And then he went like AWOL and didn't tell me. He actually stole my email account. I almost didn't get in. I had like 5,000 leads there, spent all this money getting those for like 5 years. Crazy. And I was like, I need therapy, because there was something in me that was like, I cannot keep repeating this pattern of letting men take things from me. Because I was like, well, yeah, he did. He stole. I'm a victim of that. But like, why did I even send this guy my money? That doesn't make sense. So then I got into other therapy, and then I got divorced, and a lot of awareness came from all these years. And sometimes, really, I think all the time, you need an objective person to look at things. And even if it's like not as traumatizing as things I've been through, what if it's just tools to have a more romantic marriage? What if it's simple things? Like, it's just tools. It's tools in a toolbox. Michael Jordan has a coach the whole time, and he is still the top basketball player of all time, and he credits so much to his coach. We all need someone in our corner. So that's what I just really believe. And I would to say there's a lot of other things and tips I could give, but these are some of my top ones. But overall, I hope you know, as a woman and woman to woman, that being a woman is powerful and beautiful. You can have everything you want. Go get it. I hope this all came out okay. It is unedited, and I'm speaking from my heart, and God bless you. I pray that this lands among the right people who will take it, and that even if, I hope more than one, I hope that you go get free, my friend, and take steps daily and have encouragement daily that you can walk this out, you can become free, and go get it. And to review really quick, because I think it's always important to review: self-worth, boundaries, 0-100. Your private parts do not make you any less or any more than a man in any way. But you deserve to have orgasms. 6, make your own money. Save that money. Have that money. That's your money. And 7, get a coach, but really ideally a therapist, to keep healing and growing and continuing your epic climb as an amazing woman that you already are. God bless.